The Chosen Season 6 is on its way, and something incredible happened during the recent live stream. We were given a rare sneak peek, footage, behind-the-scenes moments, and small clips that we've never seen anywhere else. And let me tell you, some of these glimpses reveal details that could completely change how we think about Season 6. There are surprises, mysteries, and even moments that Dallas himself might have let slip by accident. So let's go through this carefully, piece by piece, because what we just saw may shape one of the most emotional and intense seasons The Chosen has ever created. Let's jump in. Right from the start, one of the most striking shots shown was a desert scene. This was filmed during the early stages of production out in Utah, and it strongly hints at the return of Moses. Why? Because the actor who played Moses was confirmed to be in that exact filming location during that time. He even posted about being there, and it perfectly lines up with the desert backdrop. On top of that, Dallas accidentally mentioned that we've seen multiple scenes of Moses, even though we really haven't since Season 1. Was this a mistake? Maybe. Or was it a slip that confirms Moses is coming back? My guess, it wasn't an accident. This could be the return of Moses in Season 6, and if that's true, it's going to be powerful. Next, we shift into more familiar territory. Thomas, Pilate, and Joanna all appearing together. Pilate in front of Joanna is especially fascinating. The positioning feels deliberate, hinting at some form of tension or influence. Then another shot, someone throwing something from the temple area. The earthquake sequence comes to mind here. Remember, near the end of Jesus' life, an earthquake shakes Jerusalem. The behind-the-scenes camera shake plus debris falling off the temple makes it very likely that this is exactly what's happening in these shots. Then we see the women, Tamar holding a torch. At first glance, this feels like a burial preparation scene. During filming, we know a burial table was used, which strongly suggests this moment is tied to preparing Jesus' body for burial. The torch adds an extra detail, probably to simulate nighttime. The crew likely filmed it during the day, but will later adjust the lighting to reflect night. It's haunting, but fitting. Now let's talk about one of the most anticipated moments. Peter drawing his sword, preparing to cut off Malchus's ear. We've known this was coming, but seeing it actually take shape on screen is still chilling. Romans are pushing through the crowd, chaos is erupting, and all of it is leading straight to that infamous arrest. Another detail we see, Herod wearing the robe that Jesus will later wear during his crucifixion. In The Chosen's retelling, Herod gives this robe to Jesus, adding weight to that sequence. There's also a close-up of a character whose identity is uncertain. At first glance, some thought it might be Eden, but without a head covering, it's not clear. Could be a young boy. The ambiguity keeps us guessing. Soon after, we witness Pilate presenting Jesus before the crowd. This is one of the most iconic moments from the Gospels, the choice between freeing Jesus or Barabbas. In this shot, we see Jesus standing there, untouched yet, but moments away from being condemned. The courtyard is filled with characters we recognize, apostles, rabbis, and several figures from earlier seasons. It's overwhelming to see how many threads of the story are converging here. Another chilling scene shows crosses being raised, but these aren't the crosses of Jesus and the two thieves. Instead, this seems like an expository sequence where Romans demonstrate crucifixion. They hoist victims up with ropes, attaching them to crosses, showing the process. It's gruesome and historically accurate. While The Chosen does tone down the raw brutality compared to something like The Passion of the Christ, this still hits hard. Next, we're brought to Caiaphas's palace. Jesus, surrounded by temple guards, is arrested and dragged forward. Special effects come into play here. Torches, fire, and heavy-set lighting. This is one of those moments where you feel the pressure of everything collapsing around him. The filming locations are also worth noting. We see shots from Matera, Italy, famously where The Passion of the Christ was filmed. The Chosen chose this exact spot for the crucifixion sequences, and the setting brings authenticity and gravity. The mix of Utah's wilderness and Italy's ancient streets creates a striking blend. At this point, the focus shifts. We're reminded that Season 6's finale is essentially going to be a full-length feature film, The Crucifixion. The budget is enormous, $30 million for this episode alone, and much of the funding has already been raised through donations. But millions are still needed. It's clear they are building towards something unlike anything they've attempted before. From here, we get a harrowing shot. The crown of thorns being painted with blood. It's a simple prop moment, but it foreshadows the brutality we're about to witness. Dallas has mentioned the violence will be intense, though not quite as extreme as the Passion. Still, expect to feel the weight. We also catch glimpses of Mary, John, and Yusuf. Yusuf, surprisingly, is heavily present this season, appearing in multiple locations from Utah to Texas to Italy. His involvement seems much larger than before, especially around the burial of Jesus. Alongside him, we see Nicodemus back again. Unlike last season, where he was scarcely present, here he's in several key locations. His role seems expanded and possibly central to the unfolding story. Then comes one of the most heartbreaking details. Judas quietly grabbing a rope. He doesn't pay for it, doesn't ask, he just takes it. And of course, we know why. This silent moment foreshadows his death, the ultimate tragedy. It's subtle, but devastating. Soon after, we witness Jesus standing before Pilate again, this time wearing the robe given to him by Herod. These rapid exchanges, from Caiaphas to Herod to Pilate, highlight the chaotic, unjust nature of the trials. Pilate's conversation with Jesus is hinted at, though the full exchange is yet to be revealed. We also see Claudia, Pilate's wife. Tradition suggests Claudia later became a believer, troubled by dreams warning her about Jesus. Here, she's crushed, visibly shaken, and warning Pilate. Her words carry desperation. "Keep your promise or he'll die." The emotional conflict between her and Pilate could be a fascinating addition to Season 6. The apostles also take center stage. One shot shows all of them together. Andrew, Simon the Zealot, Nathaniel, Little James, Big James, Philip, Thomas, and Matthew. Interestingly, Matthew appears to step into more of a leadership role. His growth arc continues, showing how even those once considered outsiders become pillars of faith. And then, a deeply personal moment. Judas throwing back the 30 pieces of silver. He hurls them at the priest's feet, overcome with regret. They dismiss him harshly, calling him childish. The anguish here is palpable. It's one of those moments that will stay with viewers long after. We also get glimpses of conflict among the apostles themselves. At one point, it looks like a physical scuffle breaks out, likely fueled by fear, grief, and confusion as events spiral out of control. Scenes of Herod mocking Jesus appear next. He gives him the robe, mocks his kingship, and tries to humiliate him. Dallas's direction here emphasizes that Herod is both cruel and arrogant, demanding that Jesus impress him. Then, one of the most anticipated scenes, Peter and Judas together. The idea of these two characters crossing paths in a meaningful way is electrifying. Both betray Jesus in their own ways, one with denial, the other with outright treachery. How they interact could be one of the most dramatic moments of the season. Meanwhile, Veronica and Eden reappear, hinting at their bond. Mary Magdalene, Martha, and the other women are seen in moments of fear, fleeing or hiding during the chaos. Simon the Zealot runs to protect them, showing his loyalty. Rainstorms on set added difficulty, with the crew working hard to shield equipment, yet these struggles seem to add a raw, authentic energy to the scenes. Another shocking reveal shows Judas with his sister. Before his final act, he apparently spends time with her. This family moment before his suicide could make his storyline even more heartbreaking. The crucifixion itself comes closer into focus. We see extras filling the courtyard as the crowd demands Barabbas be freed. Jesus in the robe stands silent as the choice is made. The crowd erupts, "Crucify him!" It's overwhelming to see. Barabbas himself appears clearly here, chosen instead of Jesus. As filming progresses, the cast is seen emotionally comforting one another. The heaviness of the story isn't just on screen, it's affecting those bringing it to life. Finally, we're given the thief on the cross. One mocks Jesus, demanding he save himself. This moment drives home the weight of what's happening. Mockery even as Jesus is dying. The season closes in on its ultimate purpose, showing in devastating detail the final hours of Jesus' life. From betrayals to trials, from Barabbas to crucifixion, from Mary's anguish to Judas's despair, everything is converging, and with that, Season 6 sets the stage for one of the most significant and emotional moments in the entire series, closing. This behind-the-scenes look reveals not just what's coming, but how massive this season really is. The attention to detail, the expanded roles of beloved characters, the intense emotional stakes, everything is pointing toward a season that will shake audiences. The crucifixion is at the heart of The Chosen, and Season 6 will not shy away from showing its full weight. So what do you think? Was Dallas's slip about Moses intentional? How do you feel about Judas's rope moment? And what will Claudia's role really be in all of this? Season 6 is shaping up to be the most unforgettable chapter yet.